presentations. Our first presentation will be the Monroe High School undefeated football region championship team. Coach Fligg, if you would come forward at this time, and I'll let you introduce your coaches and players and administrators and tell a little bit about what's going on over the last 4 years. And this year, I think it's one of the most successful 4 years, and then I know this last year was very successful.
First of all, we appreciate the board having us here, Mr. Little, everybody. It's a great honor for our kids, and it's a great honor for our coaches and our community. So it's an honor to come here and get to recognize these great kids. First of all, I tell you that the young kids here, raise your hand if you're a champion. All these young kids in here, raise your hand up here, guys. Hey, it starts with y'all now, okay? It starts with y'all. I want to give y'all. Y'all just got to keep on coming up the system. Make sure you stay in the purple and white. Don't spread out these other schools now. I know we got some other schools around here, but you make sure you stay with the winning teams. I tell you. Real pleased. This year we are undefeated this year in our regular season, which is the first in the history of the school. A little disappointed that we didn't get any further in the playoffs. We ended up at 11-1. Ended up with a tough second round matchup with Carrollton, who ended up playing for the state championship. But we were a player two, honestly a player two away from winning that game. But you know, it can't take away what these kids, especially our senior class, what they did the last 4 years at Monroe. The 4-year record of these kids were 42-8, and that's 4 years, not 5 years. Had 11 playoff games, and really brought the community together. And it was a complete pleasure in coaching these character kids. And we got some kids here I want to introduce. I tell you what, guys, can y'all come up here real quick? We don't have many. We didn't have school today, as everybody knows, so we couldn't get the advertisement going. But we got a handful of great kids up here. First of all, we have Dustin Young. He's a senior. Dustin got all-region, and he made second-team All-State in Georgia, and he played in the Northeast Georgia All-Star game. That's Dustin Young. We got big Drew. I tell you what, Drew is one of our players that he didn't get on the field much, but you want this guy on the team because he's a team player. He's got a lot of heart, and everybody on this football team respects and enjoys Drew. And he's a coach's dream to coach, and we really appreciate him being part of our football team. Demeke Kemp is another one of our seniors. Demeke played here 4 years. He was the little guy that can run, and he made some big catches for him. The big thing about Demeke against Chestatee, the game that was really our close game this year, he made a huge catch to make it a 21-21 game, and ran a kickoff back against Banneker. But he's had a tremendous sport. He's a second-team All-Region and made Auburn mention last year. Jake Olson, number 10. I think everybody knows around Jake. Jake started back when you kids came up the ladder and did a fantastic job for us. He filled in at the Chestatee game at quarterback after starting at wide receiver and being our punter, and probably and part of being a major part of us winning that game, which is the region championship game. Look for Jake to do great things next year on our football team. Big 51, Elijah Harvey, another senior, played here 4 years. He was the big nose guard. We've had a lot of big nose guards here at Monroe, and he was our guy this year and last year. Great future for this young man right here, and he's all football. Got a great heart and a great practice player, and he's part of that tradition that started here, that 42-8 record. Last but not least, we got Hunter Byron, and Hunter is a quarterback. We've had a couple of good quarterbacks here in the past right here, but plays quarterback. He's also a defensive back and catch the ball. He's one of those great athletes, and his family's full of great athletes. But look for big things out of Hunter right here. And I got some coaches here. First of all, Coach Jeremy Holder back here. Come on up here, Jeremy. Jeremy was our offensive coordinator, and we did have the highest scoring average in the state of Georgia, and it's the third highest average in the history of Georgia. On our offensive team, we averaged 52 points a game. That's football. So we had a great offense here. Also, we have my assistant head coach, David Keys. He's going to limp on up here. Coach Keys, we call him the Biscuit. He's never turned down a biscuit in his life, but Coach Keys has been with me for 7 years, and he's kind of been my right-hand man for everything, and he's coached the offensive line. He's been the coordinator. He coached the defensive line. He's assistant head coach this year. Is David Keys. Nathan Deaton, our trainer. He's been here 69 years. I mean, Nathan, I'm not trying to say your age, but I tell you what, Nathan, how long has it been, Nathan? 20 years. 20 years. And Nathan's such a great all-around person, and he's our trainer, but he's also much more of our trainer. Our kids love him, and he's very dependable. We have two of our administrators here. First of all, our principal, Brian Hicks. Step on up here, Mr. Hicks. He's the man, he's the boss, and I appreciate everything he's done since we've been here. He's been a cheerleader for us, very supportive, and we appreciate everything he did from the top that filtered down our football program. And our athletic director here, Eli Cannell. Eli he's a gamer. He had a big job because we sold out most of our games this year. It was a packed stadium, and he was kind of in charge of all that and everything that goes in the press box. But ever since Eli's been here, he's been a tremendous help and supporter of mine, and he's great for Monroe Area High School. As y'all know, I've decided to take another step and retire. This is my 30th year, but I can only promise you the memories that came here, my 8 years here, and what has gone on with our football program is something that I'll cherish, and they will be the greatest memories I'll ever have. And I promise you, I'll be on these guys all the time in the future, because the tradition will continue at Monroe. It was hard to get, but once you get it, you just don't lose it. You just continue working hard and hard to keep your tradition. But we appreciate everybody here, and we appreciate you young people. Keep on playing. Make sure you get your academics right. You got to be a student first to be a student athlete. So y'all keep going and keep this Monroe tradition going for the next 10, 15 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Fleeg. We want to get a picture with all y'all, so we'll kind of gather in right. Our next item is Central South Walton 7 and 8 state championship team. Jody Johnson, you're going to introduce the coaches, and then we'll let them work from there.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
The Recreation Department had over 950 football players participate this season on over 60 teams. We selected an all-star team to participate in the GRPA, which is the Georgia Recreation and Parks Association tournament. Our 8U and 10U teams that are here tonight started practicing in October and played their way through the district tournaments in November, and then played the state tournaments in December in the Class A division, which is the highest division that GRPA offers. Walton County had never won a state title in this division in any sport. Even though we'd won a few in Class B in the lower division, we'd never won one in Class A. This year we have 2 state champions, which is our 8U and 10U divisions. And I do want to call up in the 7 and 8-year-old group. It's coached by Alan Jones, if you would come forward. Kyle Hamby, Anthony Bell, and Keith Brooks. Congratulations, guys. The Central Walton team won the District 6 GRPA crown by defeating the South Walton and Jones County in the state tournament in Tifton on December 7th. Central Walton team beat Valdosta 46-6, and then defeated the City of Atlanta in a thrilling overtime victory 6-0 to bring home the first GRPA state championship. They went 4-0 during the season, outscoring their opponents 117-6. The only 6 points they gave up was given up by the offense. So the defense did not, I have to say that, defense didn't give up any points all year. As we know, defense wins championships, and this was a great team. We also we have something special we want to give these kids this year for winning the state championship. And as we call the players out, I'm going to let you call them out. I've got a roster here for you. We have state championship rings that our booster club purchased for you. So as you come up, we're going to Kenny, you want to come on up as well?
Braxton Brooks. Makai Butts. Cameron Connor. Cam Cooper. Jaquan Big Boy Crawford. Got Larry Crawford. Kayvon Durham. Joshua Forsythe. Got Dylan Catfish Handy. Got Zillion Live Action Handy. Got Mr. Austin Head. We got Jardell Hill. Got Alan Jones Jr. Got Jakari Jones. Jalen Lackey. Khalid Hitman Lattimore. Yeah, Mr. Cody Mitchell. Mr. Mad Max Thurston. And we got Get Big Kamel Williams.
Again, congratulations, guys. We want you to get a little closer.
Squeeze in, we're gonna take a picture with y'all.
And congratulations again. they started their season off a little earlier by competing in the 20th annual Gray Bowl down in Jones County. Central Walton brought home the Gray Bowl trophy with wins over Monroe County, Baldwin County, and Jones County in the championship game. They went on to play in the District 6 GRPA tournament, where Central Walton scored victories over the West Walton All-Stars, Washington County, and Baldwin County to win the District 6 championship. To be known, Baldwin County went on to win, came in second place in the Class B championship, so that was a good victory as well. In the state tournament, they played in Bartow County, and the day they played, they had to go twice. The Saturday they went, they played in extremely difficult conditions. I did not attend that game, thank goodness. And they say the rain was coming down sideways, so it was a very difficult day to play football. They did defeat Bartow County, which was the host, 32-6, and then went on to defeat Valdosta 42-0. They advanced to the state championship game, where they played Cartersville and won 30-8 to bring home the state championship. This team went 9-0 throughout their all-star games, outscoring their opponents 307-38. So it was a very dominating team, very good team. I also want to bring up Jimmy White. I forgot to bring him up just a second ago. Jimmy is our Booster Club president. He made these rings possible through the Booster Club and through his efforts. So we appreciate Jimmy and what you did this year. We want you to help us hand out these rings. And we'll hand it over to Jeremy to call out his players and say a few words.
Just one quick thing. I want to say thanks to my other coaches here. You know, we spent a lot of time with those boys from October to December, and judging by the scores, I think we spent too much time. We probably could have spent about half that amount of time and still won, just about maybe not as many points. But thanks to Scott, Glenn, and Chad for all their help, and you know, all of us work and you know, so trying to get us, all four of us there and get kids there, it takes sacrifice on all our parts. I do appreciate all their help. With that, I will call, hopefully I got everybody here tonight. We got Bryce Allen. Dee Dee Brown. Thank you. You guys just line up for your coaches. Mason Byron. Mason, make sure you show your big brother your state championship ring. Merritt Dobster, same thing for you, Merritt. Adam Head. Holmes. RJ Abbey. Marion Jackson. And Lance Jones. Harry Austin Gilburn. Braden McCoy, T.I. Presley, Clay Ross, Alan Shumay, J.J. Smith, Cortez Sorrell, Elijah Williams, Davis Williams, and Colby Yancey. Okay. And my coaches were Scott Head, Monroe Williams, Chad Shoemate.
Again, congratulations, guys, on winning the state championship. It does take a lot of effort. The volunteers are the ones that made it happen for us. We not only played the best, but we also looked the best this year. Thanks to our uniforms, I think everybody really liked the neon green. Deidre did great picking out our uniforms, so we did look better than everybody else as well. So thanks a lot for the support, and good luck in the future. Thanks a lot.
We want everybody to come back over here where we get pictures.
Hi, this is Jody Johnson. I'm here with the Recreation Report. Today I'm here to announce that we had 2 state champions this year in the Walton County in the GRPA, the Georgia Recreation and Parks State Tournament. Today I have with me Zadius Williams and Perry Austin Kilburn. They were with the 9 and 10-year-old state champion team. And congratulations, guys. You got your trophy with you. You won a big medal and a nice ring. So congratulations. But what was the best, the most memorable experience you had while you were on the All-Star team?
You crushed everybody.
You crushed everybody?
Yes.
So what were some of the teams you beat?
Valdosta.
Valdosta, Georgia? They're usually pretty good. Who else did you beat? What was the closest game you had?
I did not know.
Okay, well, Perry Austin, you were the quarterback, kind of the captain of the team. You kind of told everybody where to go and what to do.
Yeah.
What kind of offense did y'all run?
We ran 3 offenses: trips, pro, and pistol.
What was your favorite?
Pro was my favorite.
Did you have to throw the ball?
I got to throw the ball on every series.
On every
On every formation we had.
What was your probably your furthest pass you had that you completed for a touchdown this year? Did you have any of those?
I had at least 10 touchdown passes. The furthest one I had was to my receiver Elijah Williams in the second game of state.
Wow, that's pretty impressive for a 10-year-old to have that kind of a passing attack. That usually everything's on the ground. So, what position did you play?
Running back and wide receiver.
Okay. How many did you have? A lot of touchdowns?
I had a lot.
A lot of touchdowns?
A lot.
Yeah, I think I remember watching you play. You had a couple of touchdowns at the state championship game, did you? What were the conditions like when you played over in Cartersville, where you played the state championship game?
It was wet, and it wasn't raining that day when we played state.
Was it cold?
It was cold though.
How did you play through the cold? How were you able to do that?
Oh, I was crying. I was shivering until I started running and stuff. I felt warm.
You know what I did also, from watching that game, I remember y'all ran a lot of no huddle, Perry Austin. How were y'all able to do that?
We worked on it a lot in practice, and our guys learned it after probably the 3rd day of practice.
What about the armbands that y'all used? How did that work out for you?
It was hard during state to talk through the rain, and I would call out pro left, red something, etc., and they'd look on their armband, and if they didn't know the play, they would either look back at me or raise their hand. I would tell them what the play was.
Well, congratulations, guys, on making it to the championship game and winning. Y'all really dominated 3 different tournaments throughout y'all's All-Star career. So congratulations. We're going to go over to your counterparts, the 8 and unders over here, to see how they do. I've got Dylan Hamby with me. I've got Cameron Connor and Khalid Lattimore. Is that right? Khalid Lattimore. Guys, y'all also won the state championship tournament, and y'all played the district tournament, won that, and then you went down to Tipton and won a couple of games. Tell us a little bit about what your most memorable experiences are, Dylan.
I like playing on defense and having a good time on offense.
Okay. How about you, Cameron? What was your most memorable moment?
When we won the state championship.
Oh, really? That's a lifetime great memory, isn't it? How about you? How did you do? What was your most memorable? What positions did you play?
Running back.
Looking to the camera, so everybody can see.
Running back, safety, and
Did you score any touchdowns this season? You did? How many touchdowns do you think you scored? You can't count them. There was that many. Wow. What position did you play this year, Dylan?
Running back, quarterback, and
So did all three of y'all play on the defensive side of the ball? You didn't play defense?
I played defense.
You played defense?
I played defense.
You did? I understand that y'all had a great defense and didn't allow any points in either tournament. Is that accurate? What type of defense did y'all play? Just swarm to the ball, tackle whoever has it? Is that what y'all were taught to do? Y'all were kind of ruthless, weren't you? Not giving up any points in 4 games. The only points that were given up, the offense gave up late in one of the games. That is remarkable. Congratulations on doing that. So what positions did you play?
I played right blocker, center, right blocker. That's pretty much all.
Well, that's good. All right. Well, do you value playing in the recreation department, playing on your youth teams, and then playing in the All Stars? Is that a lot of fun for you? It is. Okay. Well, I appreciate it. Congratulations on making the 8-year-old state championship game. It was the first one that Walton County had ever won. You guys won it one weekend, and then the next weekend, these 9 and 10-year-olds won the state championship. So congratulations. We're real proud of you, and we hope y'all win next year as well. Think you can do that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, again, thanks a lot. Congratulations to both teams that Walton County has that won state this year. And until next time, we'll see you then. Hi, this is Jody Johnson, and I'm here with Jeremy Kilburn, who's the coach of our 10 and under All-Star team. As you know, our 8-year-olds and our 10-year-olds both won state championships this year in the Georgia Recreation and Parks Association football tournament. Congratulations, Jeremy, on your success. And if you could walk us through a little bit about the tournaments you played and how you accomplished what you did.
Well, we started our All-Star season playing in the 20th Annual Gray Bowl down in Gray, Georgia in Jones County. It's hosted by the Jones County Parks and Recreation Association. And we played in that and played 3 games there. We played against Monroe County and we won that game 24-0. We played against Baldwin County and we were able to beat them 30-18. And then we played against Jones County, the host team there, and in the championship game, and we won that one 42-0. Then, the very next weekend, we played in our district tournament here that we hosted in Walton County. We played the West Walton All-Star team, and we were able to defeat them 36-0. And against Washington County, we beat them 38-0. And then we had a rematch with Baldwin County from the week before, and we handled them 33-6 in that game. And the Baldwin County game was probably the highlight of the season from my standpoint. We had one of the boys that actually made our team that had played all season within our league. I found out at the end of the year that he had been diagnosed with leukemia, so he obviously wasn't able to play with us on our All-Star team, but he served as our captain there for the Baldwin County game, and that was a highlight for I think all the boys on the team and for all the coaching staff as well.
That's great. And in the state tournament, you went over to Bartow County, and tell us a little bit about the game. And I understand that the weather really was exciting.
It was terrible, and I might mention that boy I mentioned was named Edric Harper. Is his name. So he was a great player for us all year, and it was unfortunate he wasn't able to continue on. The state tournament, it was terrible weather. I had hoped they would postpone it or push it back or let us play all the games, on Friday or something. But we went up there on Saturday morning. It was dark and rainy. They had to have the field lights on at 10 a.m. for us to play the game, and it was terrible conditions. But we were able to beat Bartow County in that game, 32-6. We took the boys to a local laundromat, dried their uniforms, washed them, and dried the uniforms. Suited back up for our game at 2 o'clock that day against Valdosta, and by that time it stopped raining. It was still a little nasty, and we were able to beat them 42-0 and send them back home. We went back the next day, and it was it hadn't rained, but it was probably in the 30s. It was one of the coldest days I've ever stood outside.
The wind was gusting, I have to say.
The wind was gusting, and I don't like standing outside for anything, let alone watching football. When it's that cold, but we were able to beat Cartersville that day 30-8 and to win the state championship.
And I will say, I did interview one of the kids, and I asked him, were you able to play in those conditions? Because I'll be honest, I was at the game, and at halftime I went and got in the car, and then after the game, then came back out, because it was rough to even stand out and cheer. And I asked him, how were you able to handle those conditions? And his answer was, well, I just cried.
we
You had several on the sidelines that were just miserable, but they were able to play through it.
They were. We had a lot of them that did that, but I think Scott Head, our assistant coach, brought some little like deer camp heaters that he put on the sideline, and every time I looked, there were 10 kids huddled around that heater, and I was having to grab a couple of them and throw them back out on the field because we didn't have enough to play occasionally.
Yeah, I saw parents throwing those hand warmers out to the kids. Since the fence was pretty close by, they were throwing out the hand warmers. Highlight a little bit about your offense, and then we'll go over defense afterwards. Because your offense, y'all scored what, 308 points?
307, 308 points, I think, in 9 games. So they averaged almost. It'd be a little over 30 points a game. Maybe.
One thing I did notice when y'all were playing, that most of the teams, and the rules allow in the 9 and 10-year-old division, they allow a coach out on the field on offense to give the plays, to give some instructions. Y'all didn't do that. How were you able to have your offense run and not really be out on the field with these younger kids?
Well, frankly, I didn't want to be out there with them, because if you're out there with them and you get into the huddle, you're always going to have some complaining and grumbling, and like you said, the kids out there crying in the cold. So frankly, I preferred to be on the sideline and not out there to listen to that. So no, we had a play system. We had 3 different offensive formations, and we ran probably maybe 8 or 9 plays out of each formation, and we had different each child had a play band with colors and numbers, and we had a system, and so the quarterback would run to the sideline, and we'd tell him what play we were running, and he'd go out, and we didn't run a huddle, we ran no huddle, and he would run out and give the signal to everybody, and they line up in that formation and run the play.
It did look like, and I know it helps to have your son. You're probably coaching him every day after school or between practices, and he looks a lot like Peyton Manning out there hollering out different things to the team, but they were able to do it and run the plays, and I didn't see not one time that you jumped off sides, your back went the wrong way. I didn't see any of that this season, so it really is amazing that you were able to teach these guys how to run that type of offense.
A lot of repetition. And like I said at the county commission meeting, maybe a little bit more than we needed given the margins of victory, but we were, we practiced a lot, and I think one practice, one of my assistant coach, Chad Shoemate, his son was the center, and I think he counted in one practice session how many times he snapped. And we ran, I think, 110 plays in one practice. So that's how you get to that point, is just rapid fire. We'd have 2 footballs, set one down, and just making the kids run play after play after play, and eventually they learn them.
Yeah, it certainly, it did look like you were about 2 steps ahead of everybody on the defense when y'all were running plays, which is very commendable. Highlight some of the defense, because defense wins championships, and how many points did you give up in 9 games?
38.
38 points, and a lot of those were late in each game where,
yeah, that's true.
Maybe you were just bending and not breaking, playing a little deeper than you needed. Highlight some of the plays and some of the players on defense that might have stood out.
We had quite a few good players on defense. Like on offense, we ran multiple defensive fronts or defensive formations, and we kind of had a system where if we called this defense, if we were running a 6-2 defense, well, that required certain personnel, and those children were on the field. And if you said we're running our 4-3 defense, well, that was a completely different set of kids and personnel, and that way it helped balance playing time so that everybody had a chance. Basically, we tried to set it up, if you weren't a starter on offense, that you were at least, if you were starting on defense, or at least you were out in multiple formations on the defensive side of the ball. But we had some great players on the team this year that made our job as coaches really easy. I know in the state tournament, we had played J.J. Smith. We played him at safety pretty much the whole year. And then in the state tournament, we moved him to linebacker. And I think that the kids from Cartersville and Valdosta are still seeing him in their nightmares, because he was, to play him at safety all year, moving to linebacker there for the last 3 games, is unbelievable what he was able to accomplish.
He must have been the one that was stopping the sweep to the right.
He was the one blitzing through every play and tackling somebody in the backfield.
Most teams do have. Well, this was an all-star team. They were all all-stars on their local teams. But you said something that really stood out to me, that usually you have one guy that scores all the touchdowns, one guy that does most of the things on offense. But you said you scored it was by committee.
It was. I mean, we had two running backs that scored, I would say, about half of our touchdowns, maybe over half, and that was Xavier Williams and Mason Byron. Each scored probably 15 or 16 touchdowns on the season for us out of, I think we had a total of 49 touchdowns over the course of the season. So they scored over 2/3, but we had a total of, I believe, 10 kids score touchdowns and another 2 that, were able to get in the end zone on extra point plays. So we had 12 offensive skill players, pretty much everybody that played, offensive skill position in one of the different formations. They were all able to find the end zone at least once. I think we had one game with 5 different kids that scored a touchdown. So we were proud of that that multiple kids were able to participate and see success.
Yeah, watching your games as well, you went out of the shotgun. It looked a lot like one of the run and shoot type offenses, because it just wasn't sweep right and sweep left. Somebody's going in motion. You were faking that sometimes, and y'all threw the ball a good bit.
We did. I think we had, of our 49 touchdowns, I think 40 of them were on the ground, and we had 9 or 10 of them were in the air. So we did throw the ball a decent amount, and we had a lot of series where we moved the ball up the field throwing, screen passes, a few deep passes, but we threw it probably more than any team that we played, and we were successful at it because we had a lot of good wide receivers and kids that can catch the ball.
It was a great year, and I know winning makes it fun. Again, our 8-year-olds won the state championship, so we've got a good run of kids coming through our program here in Walton County, and these specific teams were out of the central Walton, South Walton area. So we do have a lot of great athletes coming through here. We know our high school team went 10-0 this year, so we look for these teams just to move right on up into the middle school and then into the high school ranks and continue their skill set. Now we've moved up to basketball. I know you're a big basketball fan, so how do you think that our teams may do this year in All-Stars?
I think they'll do well. We've got, there's a lot of talent, I think, especially in this 10 and under age group. Some of these boys actually, 4 of the boys that were on this team, Edric Harper, Perry Austin, my son, Xavier Williams, and DeVecchio Brown, were all on this all-star football team that won state. And 2 years ago, those 4 were key components of a basketball team in the 8 and under division that won state. So I think they'll have a good season in all-stars this year, at least in the 10 and under age group for sure.
Well, I do appreciate you coming out and talking with us a little bit about that. Well, what was the kid's name again that didn't get to finish the season? That
was Edric Harper.
Edric
like I said,
Harper.
he had had a great season for us during the regular season. Our regular season team went undefeated and won the county championship, and he played up. I believe he played all the way up till 2 games before the championship when he was diagnosed. And as fate would have it, the last game he played this year was probably his best. He rushed for 2 touchdowns that game, and I bet he had 90 or 100 yards rushing, and had a great defensive game, and showed some symptoms later that day and early in the next week that they went and checked out. So it was great that his last game of the year was a good one for him. And
we certainly hope that he has a speedy recovery, and maybe next year as 11-year-olds. Most of these guys, I don't think they're quite ready for middle school yet. They probably have 1 more year of rec, and then they'll start into their middle school and high school career. So we hope to bring them back next year and win our first 12 and under state championships. Our 8-year-olds will probably move up to the 9-year-olds. So maybe we can keep this trend going. Again, if you haven't registered for your baseball or softball or track or soccer, registration did go on last week. Go to your local community center and try to register and see if we have a spot available for you if you want to play this year. Again, Jeremy, congratulations, and thanks a lot for coming in and talking a little bit more about the team, because I just can't get it quite enough of it. It's a very big thing these guys did in a Class A division, the highest division that GRPA offers. We're playing teams like Valdosta and the city of Atlanta. Those are big agencies, and our agency just not only played the best, we looked the best, and our coaches and parents acted the best. So very proud of all the teams that participated this year in All-Stars, and we look forward to competing again this March in the GRPA basketball tournament. So until next time, thank you very much.